Today's episode is brought to you by Crime Scene Protein Shake. Yeah, you heard that right. Are you tired of weak gains, soft routines, and looking like you definitely wouldn't survive a jog through the woods at night? Well, good news. Crime Scene Protein Shake is here to help you build a body that says, I could outrun poor decisions. Packed with 30 grams of protein, 0 excuses, and just a hint of what exactly is in this, it's the only shake bold enough to ask. Are you built for the investigation? Each serving mixes instantly, no clumps, no chalky texture, just smooth, suspiciously effective results. Available in flavors like midnight chocolate, vanilla alibi, and berry unidentified. Crime Scene Protein Shake. Fuel your body. Question everything. Grab yours now, wherever questionable supplements are sold. And remember, results may vary. Side effects may include confidence, excessive gym mirrors, and people asking if you've been working out. Crime Scene. Stay strong, stay suspicious.
Welcome back to Shadows in the Pines with your hosts, Dan and Becca.
Before we begin, please be advised this episode may contain conversations that are graphic in nature and are intended only for adults. If you are not in the right headspace, we recommend you pause, take a break, recenter, find your happy place, and continue when you're ready. We here at Shadows in the Pines appreciate your support, but your mental health will always be more important than the show. We hope you enjoy this episode, and as always, thank you for listening. And now, here's Becca.
Before we start today's episode, we want to say something directly. If you've been listening to this show, and specifically if you just came through the 4-episode Duncan series, you've heard the FBI referenced over and over. The Behavioral Science Unit, criminal profiles, a behavioral assessment that helped investigators understand what kind of person they were looking for before they had a name. That language is everywhere in modern true crime, and it's everywhere in law enforcement. And most people who hear it have some understanding of what it means. But the story of where it came from, the actual human story of how that science got built from scratch by a handful of people sitting in a basement at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia, is one of the most interesting origin stories in the history of American law enforcement. And it almost didn't happen. So, this is an episode about that. It's about how a field that didn't exist before the foundational tool that every major serial crime investigation now relies on. It's about the people who built it, including 2 agents and an academic researcher that most of you know from a Netflix show, and 1 agent almost nobody has ever heard of who actually started the whole thing. It's about the interviews in prison rooms with some of the most dangerous men who ever lived. And it's about what that work costs the people who do it. If you've watched Mindhunter, the Netflix series that ran from 2017 to 2019, based on FBI agent John Douglas's memoir, you've seen a dramatic version of this story. Today, we're going to tell you the real one. This is how the FBI learned to get inside the mind of a killer. Excuse me. Sorry. Goodness gracious.
So, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, welcome in.
And let's give them a little disclaimer.
Okay.
Just right off the bat.
Yes.
Listen, as much as I would love it to be, Crime Scene Protein Shake is not a real product.
Correct.
It's just a funny fake advertisement that we decided that we were going to put at the start of this episode.
Yeah.
Because
it's funny.
It's fucking hilarious.
Oh my God, it is.
As a human that's incapable of outrunning poor decisions.
And just a question of, what's in this? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Vanilla alibi.
Yeah.
I like that.
And berry unidentified. You don't know which berry it is.
No.
It's a blueberry. Tastes like it, but it's red.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
That's funny.
It's raining a little bit. That's nice.
Yeah. Spring weather, right?
Mm-hmm. And we went to bingo last night.
Yes.
Because bingo was my new motherfucking thing.
It is so fun. The people in there are hilarious.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm leaning way into it.
Yeah.
It was our second time going.
Yes, it was.
It was a fucking blast.
Yes, it was.
The smells. There's like a weird mixture of stale cigarette, fresh cigarette, pipe tobacco, cigar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like casino carpet cleaner.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like there's this whole mixture, and it's like the same nostalgia as when you are near a pool.
Oh, yeah, and the chlorine.
Yeah. Here's a fun little tidbit.
I'm listening.
One of my friends worked in the pool cleaning industry.
Oh.
Okay. That smell from a pool, that is not chlorine that you smell.
What is it?
When a pool is brand new and has just been filled, there is no smell whatsoever.
That's true. My sister's pool never smelled.
Right. The smell that you smell that everyone equates with the nostalgia of the typical pool smell
Is it the pee-pee?
is urine mixed with chlorine.
Oh.
That's exactly what it is. You can fucking Google that. That's a fact. Now,
Oh my God.
I have never been a fan of public pools.
For that reason?
Because, let's say there's 10 kids in that pool.
Yes.
8 of those 10 kids are not getting out to pee. They're peeing in that pool. And pretty soon, the public pool becomes a giant
Urinal.
toilet that people are just frolicking in. I don't care how good the filtration is. It can't cycle
I like
the
that they're
water that quickly.
Frolicking into pee-pee.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you're splashing around in a giant toilet.
And it gets in your eyes.
Yeah.
No wonder why they're like shower before you get in and shower after you get out.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't need you adding funk to the stew.
Is that why people's hair turns green? That's what I'm going to ask right now.
Oh, when they have blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's reacting. Here's another interesting fact. It only happens with people who color their hair blonde, not natural blondes.
Oh.
Because it reacts with some...
Well, that would make sense because
With
we used to
color.
do all the sun in back in the day. You know, you spray.
Yeah, I remember that product.
Yeah.
It was in the yellow bottle.
Uh-huh.
It's essentially hydrogen peroxide.
More than likely. It's probably what my mom was like, stop using it. And I'm like, no, it's great.
It's good shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Tasted awful.
Why? Never mind. Not going to ask.
No,
how
not
you
like I was
tasted it.
spraying it in my mouth on purpose. I'm just saying, like, you have your,
Oh.
you don't close your
And it's
mouth
a-
when you're spraying it, and it gets like hairspray. You're like,
But what if I
maybe
like
that's just me.
Aquanet?
Maybe I just put fucking hairspray on. Really fucking weird.
Oh my God.
I keep my mouth open like women do when they're putting on mascara.
But if you open your mouth wide, you open your eyes wide. You didn't know that. There's a science, I swear.
That's true. There probably is. Someone ought to write a paper on that.
Yeah, not me. I'd get too distracted.
But anyways, yeah, bingo is fucking fun as shit.
Yes.
And it has become, after just 2 times, the way that I am choosing to mitigate the horrors that I have to suffer throughout my week with research and staring at my iPad
Yeah.
It's getting hard on my eyes. I'm going to have to switch back to regular paperback books instead of getting them on my Kindle.
Right.
It's crazy. And this thing, I don't know if it has like one of those blue light filters. I haven't figured out where the fuck it's at.
Oh.
Every time Apple releases an update and I have to update my shit, I lose like
half of it.
Yeah, something I knew where it was located, like the spot. Like I know how to find that. It's in this area right here. Now it's gone.
Oh. Yeah, I don't like it when that happens.
Who knows? Holy fuck, we should probably talk about this episode. We're just babbling.
We are.
We got to save this for the other show, talking shit about shit.
That's right.
So yeah.
Yeah, the FBI.
Bingo's fun. Crime scene protein shake is not real.
Correct.
Maybe one day it will be. When we're utterly and stupidly, fantastically famous podcasters.
There you go.
Oh, CrimeCon is right around the corner.
I know. I'm so excited.
How many days is it away? Till the 28th now.
I don't know. We're on the 14th.
Yeah.
So it would still be 14 days till the 28th of this.
Yeah, so...
And then I'm away from that. I don't know.
Fucking math.
40 something.
Yeah. Maybe one of our listeners can call in and let us know.
555.
So we have a little bit of a different case.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a case.
I know.
It's not a case at all.
But it's...
We're going to be talking about killers.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's understanding.
We're killer adjacent in this episode.
Oh, I like that. I like that word.
Yeah, because we are a show that focuses... Well, we try to focus on the victims. We really try.
Yes, we do.
But that's hard to do when most of the sensationalism comes from the people who are the perpetrators of the crime.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's a lot about the victims from William Pickton,
but
there's like 400 times more about him. So,
yeah.
I mean, this is going to be an episode about, like you said, the people who were kind enough to bring us and facilitate the FBI serial killer profile system.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which I find highly interesting.
Yeah, and you haven't seen Mindhunter, right?
Correct.
Just bits and pieces when people have it on in the background.
Yeah, I haven't sat down. I haven't chosen to watch it. Yeah.
It's a show I really think you'd enjoy.
But
it is a little bit on the slow side, and I know how you feel about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no car chases.
Why? No, it's just...
It's mostly just dudes in suits in the old school fucking,
that's
in the old day fucking talking to people that look like serial killers.
Well, it has to be engaging enough for me to want to stay.
They do a really good job. They did a really good job casting the show. It's not on anymore. It was, it hasn't been renewed, but it hasn't been canceled either. It's just kind of in limbo because the creator went to go do a different show.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then Netflix was like, well, it's fucking expensive also.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you don't come back, it's not going to hurt our feelings.
Oh.
But I hate when they do that because it's a really freaking good show.
Yeah.
But there are whispers that it's going to get a 3-part movie, like 3 2-hour movies.
Yeah.
Or something like that, which wouldn't be too bad.
So I better start watching.
Then I could get a ending to the, story. Because I hate when Netflix fucking does that. And they do that shit all the goddamn time. Yeah.
I hate it.
Like with fucking Santa Clarita Diet.
I love that show.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we can't afford Nathan Fillion's fucking head anymore.
My allergies are horrible. And I have a horrible, horrible smoker's cough right now.
There was that was a tremendous cast, though.
Oh, my God.
Timothy Oliphant is a fucking gem.
Yes.
Drew Barrymore. If you don't like Drew Barrymore, I question your life choices. You know what I mean? It's like saying you don't like Sandra Bullock. Like, get out of here. Don't sit there and tell me you don't like Sandra Bullock. I will find a new co-host.
I know how to get rid of a body.
Sandra Bullock is a Canadian treasure.
She's Canadian?
She is Canadian.
Just like Nathan Fillion?
Just like Fillion and Reynolds.
Oh, yeah. The Reynolds.
Yeah, I think she's Canadian.
I don't know.
Fuck, I don't know. maybe I shouldn't say things I'm not absolutely sure of.
We know Celine Dion.
I'm pretty sure she's Canadian.
I don't know.
She's
My
got
phone
that
isn't-
face. She might be a dude.
She's not.
She's not a dude.
Wait, she's got a Canadian face.
She's got a real doodly Canadian face.
Oh my God.
No, she's awesome. We love you, Sandra.
Yeah, we do.
All right, so should we start this story?
Yes, we need to.
So what we're going to talk about is the people who invented the FBI serial killer profiling agenda,
Manifesto?
manifesto,
Handbook.
program, curriculum.
There we go. Curriculum.
Curriculum
I like
probably
that.
would be the best way to say that, being as how we're talking about teachers.
Oh.
Teachers,
Yes.
leave them kids alone.
Oh my God.
Doo-doo.
Oh my God.
This fucking show's devolved into chaos.
Yes.
It's going nowhere.
You're real fast.
Okay.
Oh, thanks for hanging on with us.
All right,
Yeah.
for real though,
Yes,
let's
let's-
talk about this because it's the early 1960s and 70s. Okay, and the United States is experiencing something that it's not really seen before, at least on this kind of scale, which is a wave of serial violent crime that's cutting across multiple jurisdictions and leaving investigators with really no framework for understanding it at all. Now, during this time period, we have the Zodiac Killer who's sending coded letters to newspapers in California. Ted Bundy is active at this time, moving between states, Seattle, Utah, Colorado, and Florida. Changing his method, finding new hunting grounds. When very first episode, I'm like, I'm not fucking doing Bundy.
Right.
I'm not doing Bundy. There's
He's
nothing
just-
new I could fucking tell you.
Right.
But he is fucking way high on my list of intriguing individuals. So I don't know that I'm going to stick with that. And we might,
We might do
if
it
I can
there.
find an angle that hasn't been done,
See, there you go. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a big if.
And especially since we're victim first, it would be nice to tell more about these victims, these women, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because you don't hear a whole lot about them.
Mm-mm.
It's just, the Chi Omega girls.
Mhm.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
But there were others.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tentatively say that there might be some Bundy content in our future.
There you go. We'll put a pin in that.
Yeah, so we got him moving around. We got that fucking freak John Wayne Gacy dressing like a clown and molesting and killing fucking boys and burying them under his house in Chicago.
Yeah, creepy.
Did you watch that one on Peacock?
No, I did not.
And you haven't seen Orange is the New Black either, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, the main character's brother in Orange is the New Black plays Gacy, and he does a fucking phenomenal job. Like, he nails the Chicago accent so good.
Oh.
So good.
Nice.
Yeah, so in addition to those freaks, you got Berkowitz, the son of Sam, running around New York, shooting people with a, what was it? It was a 38 or 45 or 44.
I don't
think, something.
remember.
Well, he's shooting people in the face. And,
Yeah.
and sending his own letters also. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So all these people are in the news all the fucking time.
Yeah. You can't get away from it.
Yeah, and the public is like, son of a bitch. Is it even safe to be outside?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't know what to fucking do.
No.
So, the general public is fucking terrified.
Mm-hmm.
So- Part of the problem, of course, is structural. I mean, most of the problem is, and we've mentioned this before, law enforcement in the United States is kind of shitty.
Mm-hmm.
It's broken and fragmented and doesn't really operate in a fashion that's conducive to helping the entire nation.
True. There's just so little communication.
Yeah, and there's so many, because you have the state,
Mm-hmm.
And then inside the state, you have counties.
Mm-hmm.
And then inside those counties, you have cities.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's the police for the cities, the sheriffs
Mm-hmm.
for the counties, the state police for the state.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a shit ton of different jurisdictions.
Mm-hmm.
And not only in that state, but think about how many states border Idaho.
There's like 6.
Yeah. I mean, you just looked at that the other day.
Uh-huh.
So let's say a killer murders somebody in Seattle and then drives to Portland, then crosses into Idaho. He's just moved through at a minimum 3 separate state jurisdictions.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, you know, like
County.
all the smaller ones.
Yeah.
So the point in all that is that these counties and jurisdictions may or may not be talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that has always been the problem is there's been no one place where they can all find
The
information.
Yeah.
Right. So beyond that, when a serial killer crosses jurisdictions, the cases often don't even connect. You know what I mean? Because investigators in one county are going to work their case in isolation, not knowing that 40 miles away, a different department was working something that looks exactly the same or fits the same pattern.
Right. Right.
So, and then even with a single jurisdiction, when investigators did catch a killer, you know, they weren't sitting down and asking him why. Like, why'd you do it?
Mm-mm.
The interrogation model of that era was built around extracting confessions and establishing legal guilt. That's all they were interested in.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't built around understanding behavior.
No.
Nobody was dying to ask Charles Manson to explain himself and his psychology, you know?
No.
Nobody was sitting across from Edmund Kemper and asking him, you know, about his childhood, his fantasies, how he selected women,
Mm-mm.
or what he was doing after he killed, you know, the post-offense behavior.
Yeah, no. Those were not the questions.
No. So, I mean, the idea that you could learn how to find killers who were still out there by studying killers who were already caught, essentially in 1970, is a very, very fringe idea.
Yeah. That's so outside of the box.
Yeah. But there was one FBI agent who had been quietly kind of working on something like this for almost a decade.
Hmm.
And his name is Howard Teten.
Hmm.
And of course, he is, you know what I mean? Do you know that name? He's not
No.
a household name.
No.
Where Bundy and all, Dahmer,
Right.
Gacy, all these other fucking idiots are household names.
Yeah.
But these are, we're going to talk about the people who give us the science to narrow down a field of suspects.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? The system, it is something and it is not some things also. And I'll get to that. That what I just said will make a little bit more sense.
All right.
But for now, let's talk about Howard Teten.
Mm.
And he's not the inspiration for any of the characters in Mindhunter.
Okay.
Okay. That shows about 3 other people.
Okay.
So, but if you had to identify a single person most responsible for the existence of this criminal profiling system, his name's going to be at the top of the list.
Mm.
So who is Howard Teten? Well, Howard Teten grew up in Nebraska and was a former Marine.
Mm.
And then he became a police officer with the San Leandro Police Department in California in 1958. He worked crime scenes in the identification division.
Hmm.
What today we would call CSI.
Oh, I recognize that.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan of the shows anyway. You
Oh,
know what I mean? I prefer Criminal Minds.
Yeah, it's a little darker.
So, but he became fascinated with a question that nobody in law enforcement was kind of asking at the time, and that was, what does the crime scene tell you about the person who committed it?
Mm.
Now, this idea had been floating around in forensic psychiatry kind of since around the 1940s.
Oh, wow.
And a New York criminologist named Dr. James Brussel had built a famous behavioral profile of the mad bomber, a man named George Metesky, who planted explosive devices across New York City throughout the 40s and 50s. So this Brussels fella, he predicted that the bomber was a heavyset, middle-aged, foreign-born Roman Catholic man who would be wearing a double-breasted suit when caught. Now that's pretty fucking specific.
That's very,
right?
How
Like
would you
down
know?
the he's guessing down to. He's like, okay, I'm in this dude's head so well.
All right.
This is what I think he's gonna be wearing when you catch him.
Yeah, it's very specific.
Right?
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. So eventually, George Metesky is caught. And when he was arrested in 1957, he was wearing a double-breasted suit.
Get out.
He really was.
No.
Isn't that nuts? So because of that, Brussels profile became legendary in forensic circles.
Yeah. how
Like
could it
legendary. It's basically
How could
like
it not?
calling your shot and fucking hitting a home run, like a grand slam home run.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he stepped up, pointed to fucking left field, and knocked it out of the fucking park.
Yes. Yes, I will. Clap to that one.
He's like, Babe Ruth, who? Fucking
Damn.
Brussels in the house. So yeah, he's pretty much a fucking badass.
Yeah. I want to know his process.
Yeah. So of course Teten is obsessed with him, and he's reading like everything he can find on this guy. And then he reaches out to him, and he studies his approach, kind of disagrees with parts of it, and but uses it to kind of build his own framework. And it's not, and he does his, and it's not grounded in kind of like Freudian interpretation, but in more observable behavioral evidence at crime scenes. So he's not like being all like in his head about it. He's like, well, what can I actually look at
What can
that
I
is
really
evidence
see?
that will help me prove what I'm trying to prove? Right. Instead of like being all Freud and sitting around and being like, oh, yes, you
right.
want to have sex with your mother.
Right. Oh my God. I love the fact that he was like, no, let's look at this crime scene and let's ask those questions. Oh my God. I love that.
Right. So, yeah, he kind of, he develops his own. And then he spends the next few years kind of testing his theories against already solved cases, comparing what he predicted about an unknown offender against who was ultimately arrested. And he just kind of refined this method continuously until 1962 when he joined the FBI.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now he's there for about 7 years. And in 1969, he is transferred to the training division at FBI headquarters in Washington.
Wow.
That's Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And he begins looking for a way to teach what he's developed. Now, he's got a supervisor, as most supervisors are. His supervisor is super fucking skeptical because at the time, this is still very much J. Edgar Hoover's FBI. And I don't know a lot about J. Edgar Hoover, but I know that like he was pretty fucking strict boss when it came to like FBI shit, I think.
Yeah, everything was pretty
Like
black and
no
white. That there was no,
nonsense.
yeah, no gray area.
So I do know that Hoover didn't think much of psychology as an investigation tool. He was basically like fucking take him in the room and beat him till they fucking say they
Confess,
did it.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, but he convinces his supervisor to let him teach a workshop that he called Applied Criminology. And his first class was a 4-hour session for New York City police. And it was a fucking smash hit. Like really like went way better than anybody could have hoped.
That's awesome.
Like this podcast. Brought to you by Crime Scene Protein Shake.
Not real. Oh my God.
We're going to always mention the sponsors.
Always mentioned.
So yeah, he's teaching New York cops. And then it's such a hit that he expands from a 4-hour session once a week to 4-hour sessions 4 days a week.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And then he starts traveling to a training school in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, by about day 3 of each session, something reliable starts happening.
Oh.
In that officers would approach him and bring up unresolved and unsolved cases from their own jurisdiction. So basically, you know,
yeah,
at least one of them would approach them and be like, look, while we got you here, can
What
I
do you
run this
think?
by you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
So-
awesome.
Yeah. And he would. Teten would walk through the case with them.
Mm-hmm.
And in one Texas session, a student went back and interviewed a suspect based on insights from the class discussion, and the individual then confessed.
Shut the front
Which is
door.
awesome, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, he taught this kid, and then he goes back and re-questions a suspect and gets a confession because of this dude's teaching.
That's incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, so, you know, he's got, okay, he called the double-breasted suit.
Mm-hmm.
Now he just helped another dude get a confession. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
word spreads fast. And that's when they decide that he needs a partner.
Mm.
So he finds one in Patrick Mullaney, who is a former New York field agent and improbably a former Christian Brothers monk.
Brandy, anybody?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he had degrees in psychology and human behavior. So Mullaney saw crime from a much higher altitude
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that was absorbed in kind of the motive and the psychology of it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Teten was a ground level forensic observer.
Mm-hmm.
So they're both reading crime scenes for behavioral signatures. And they're both asking the same question, but from different directions,
Oh, I like that.
which can only fucking help them.
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
2 heads are better than one, especially when those 2 heads want to cooperate and not fight each other.
yes.
So in 1972, the FBI opens a new academy in Quantico, Virginia. And that's the one we all know and love.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know, where the body farm is and stuff.
Yes.
Oh, God, we have to do an episode on that. We have to do an episode on that
We
shit.
will. We will.
Yeah. So, yeah, so they officially form the BSU, which is the Behavioral Science Unit.
Nice.
And it's led by Supervisory Special Agent Jack Kirsch.
Hmm.
So with Teten and Mullaney on the faculty,
Mm-hmm.
there's a total of 11 of these agents.
Oh, wow.
So it also gets housed appropriately for something the FBI views as fringe
Mm-hmm.
in the basement.
Of course.
like the X-Files, you know what I mean?
You guys can have it, but out of
Yeah.
state.
They're like, okay, you got something here, but this shit's fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
We don't understand it.
fucking get down there. Here's a copier and a coffee machine. Fucking get out of you get out of here, kid. You bother me.
Right. No daylight for you.
So, anyways, yeah. So they set up shop in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
It's dank. It's dusty. There's probably bats. Who knows?
Mm.
There's no bats, but they get to work. Bats.
Oh my
And
God.
so let's talk about the first profile that worked.
Yeah.
In June of 1973, there's a 7-year-old girl named Susan Yeager who was abducted from her family's campsite in the Rocky Mountains of Montana while her parents were sleeping nearby.
Hmm.
So the abductor cut a hole in a tent, overpowered her in the dark, and took her without waking up anybody else,
Whoa.
which is fucking nuts.
Yeah, because that's going to be noisy.
Yeah. So No physical evidence, no witnesses, no suspects. Case gets referred to the BSU, and Teten and Mulaney worked it and built a profile. And they predicted the offender was a white male in his mid-20s with military experience and hunting skills. Someone who kind of knows the area, was physically capable, and likely lived nearby. And someone who's probably a single man with no stable relationships. Okay?
Gotcha.
So that's their profile. Now, local investigators, over time develop a suspect named David Meyerhofer, who's a 23-year-old single man, also a veteran, also a hunter, very locally known. And he submits to a lie detector test.
Oh.
And passes. Big fucking deal. Am I right or am I right?
You're right.
I mean, we've been
through this.
Yeah. We've been over this. The lie detector test is an ancient, non-accurate. It's basically a Ouija board, is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It completely operates and is either effective or non-effective based on the person who is attached or touching the machine.
Yes.
Now, if you 100% believe in your head that what you are saying is the truth,
you're going to pass.
You are going to pass the lie detector test. Narcissists always believe their own bullshit.
Of course.
A lot of serial killers are narcissists. A lot of killers in general are narcissists. So it stands to reason that they'd be able to pass a lie detector test.
Yeah.
Now, you will fail a lie detector test if it picks up any irregularities in your breathing and your heart rate and all this shit. So a person can be completely innocent, but be nervous and not like the police and not like being questioned and feeling like, or have a problem with authority in general.
Yeah.
And it can cause the machine to register that they are lying when they are not. So
enough with the party tricks.
Right. So who gives a fuck? He passes a lie detector test. Now, he also passes a truth serum test. Because apparently that's the thing back in the day where they're going to inject him and he's going to be like, oh, yeah, it's good shit. No, man, I didn't do that shit.
Right.
That was Greg. You know Greg, he lives in that shed.
Oh, my God.
Crazy Greg with the eye. Or the lack of eye. Does he got one still? I don't know, man. But you know Greg, he's out there. So, yeah. So he passes both these things, and the investigators believe him. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, he passed, so clear it's not him. But Teten and Mulaney are not convinced. Yeah, they're like, no, our profile is solid.
Right.
And they recommend that the investigation continue.
Good for them.
Yeah. So Meyerhofer is eventually connected to the case through his failure to pass a voice identification test based on threatening phone calls he made to Susan's family.
What?
Yeah, so that's what gets him. Now they go out and they search his property and they find, unfortunately, body parts of Susan Yeager and at least one other victim, which of course are preserved souvenirs. And while he is in custody, he confesses to 4 murders and then kills himself in his jail cell shortly after.
Coward.
Right. But David Meyerhofer is the first official serial killer that was caught with the formal assistance of the FBI behavioral profile.
That is awesome.
Which is awesome, yes.
That's way awesome.
Now, of course, this did not make national headlines. It did not make the BSU famous overnight, but it proved something inside the Bureau that Teten and Mulaney haven't been able to prove before, which is that their method works.
Yeah.
Their profile had identified the right man when every other technique had cleared him. So from that point, interest in the BSU really begins to grow, and cases are being referred from all around the country. So of course, the basement, at Quantico is going to get busier.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 more agents are about to join the unit that would take what Teten and Mulaney have built and turn it into something that would change law enforcement really worldwide.
Oh, nice.
So the first of them is Robert Ressler,
Mm-hmm.
who joined the BSU in 1975. And the second is John Douglas, who joined in 1977.
Okay.
Now, both of these gentlemen were traveling constantly because they were delivering training to police departments across the country, kind of teaching the principles that Teten and Mulaney had developed and trying to help local investigators understand criminal behavior from a psychological standpoint. So basically, they're traveling teachers.
Yeah.
But they're FBI agents.
That's a huge task.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, now both these guys are kind of frustrated by the same problem. Now they're teaching this whole theory, but it's built on a relatively small foundation of case studies and academic research. So the principles are sound, but the data is super, super thin.
Gotcha.
So when they stand in front of a room full of homicide investigators and they're describing the behavioral patterns of a violent sexual predator, they're really drawing from a limited well. They can describe the types, they can point to examples, but the examples really are mostly anecdotal, and the categories are kind of rough, and the science has not really been put through the kind of empirical testing that's going to make it publishable, repeatable, and defensible in a courtroom if they have to use it to help prosecute somebody,
Right. So.
or defend someone who's wrongfully convicted. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that shit goes both ways.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
So Ressler comes up with an idea that kind of changes all this. And he's like, well, what if we go to the prisons and we just start talking to these killers directly ourselves?
Oh, get it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. Simple logic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Obviously correct.
Right.
And, law enforcement has decades of arrest records, autopsy reports, crime scene photographs, and court transcripts documenting what these violent predators have done. But what it lacks entirely is the first-person account of why they did it.
Yeah, it's the why that I always want to know.
Exactly. You can't have one of the 5 W's missing when you're trying to figure shit out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, yeah, like why? How how they select their victims? What did they been? What were they thinking at the time? What were they thinking while they were inside the crime scene? What kind of role did fantasy play in the planning, if it played a role at all? Because some of them would fantasize and shit,
Right.
and work it up till they had to act. And all that shit, all that part, that whole part of a serial killer's life was completely undocumented because nobody up until this point has thought to ask
those questions.
Right. Which is, and it's fair, just, because why would you?
Yeah,
They don't give a fuck.
No.
They're like, we got our guy. He's in jail forever, or getting, he's going to go visit old Sparky.
Right.
Or old Chokey. Or old Coffee. Whatever method that state
Was using.
employs for
Yeah.
the death penalty. Chair, chamber, or rope, know.
Right.
But, so yeah. Now these interviews would be voluntary. They were going to offer no deals, no sentence modifications, no extra privileges, and literally nothing in exchange. The killers would participate because they chose to. And funny enough, it turned out that almost all of them chose to participate. Some because they wanted to talk, some because they enjoyed the attention, but mostly because after years in a cell, a couple of FBI agents asking them genuine questions about themselves is kind of the most interesting thing that is happening to them in literally like months. So the formal interview program began in 1976.
It's a good year.
Yeah, it's a great year.
Mm-hmm.
With Douglas and Ressler, along with several colleagues, and they began traveling to prisons across the United States with a tape recorder, a growing list of questions, and a goal to build a database of behavioral information on violent offenders that had never existed before.
That is a massive undertaking.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, before we go into these interviews themselves, there is a detail worth pausing on.
Okay.
In 1974, 2 years before the formal interview program began, Ressler was in England, and he was lecturing at the Police Staff College at Bramshill in Hampshire, which is one of Britain's premier law enforcement training institutions.
Okay.
And during a session, he heard an officer describing a series of crimes that had occurred in sequence, each one connected to the last and each one escalating. So he makes a connection because as a child growing up in Chicago in the 40s and 50s, he had fallen in love with the Saturday matinee film serials, which were short episodic movies that ran before the main feature.
Mm-hmm.
They always ended on a cliffhanger that compelled the audience to come back next week.
Mm-hmm.
The tension never resolves and the story never really satisfies or comes to an ending, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it just builds and builds and builds.
Mm.
So he thought, he's sitting there and he's thinking about the killers that he's studying and how the crime never satisfied the fantasy. The fantasy always exceeds the reality of what the crime provides.
Mm-hmm.
So the killer would go back and, he came back the following week, just like the kids in the Saturday matinee theater, drawn by the unresolved tension of the previous episode.
Mm.
The crime was serial in exactly the same structural sense.
Oh, my goodness.
So in his notebook, Ressler wrote the word serial killer.
Hmm.
So the term doesn't come from a specific case. It doesn't emerge from, a research paper or a committee. It comes literally from a middle-aged FBI agent sitting in a lecture hall, making a connection between violent crime and childhood movies.
Isn't that crazy?
Right? So Robert Ressler is the man who has coined, he's given credit for coining the term serial killer.
I like it.
So, at the time, the English language had no precise word for what these men are.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it did.
It's good.
And the term changed everything about how law enforcement talked about, categorized, and investigated patterned violent crime.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave investigators and prosecutors a shared vocabulary and allows the public to understand something that, previously felt like nameless chaos. It makes the phenomenon legible, really.
Right.
And, think about the word is everywhere now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Almost every case we've covered, every conversation about violent crime you've really ever had, it's serial killer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Oh,
it
yeah.
came from a notebook in a British lecture hall by a middle-aged FBI dude who was thinking about movies he watched as a kid. I just think that's so cool.
Something so simple.
Right?
Hmm.
So let's talk about Ann Burgess.
Hmm.
In 1978, a 42-year-old nursing professor from Boston College received a phone call from an FBI agent named Roy Hazelwood. Now, he calls her because he's read a paper that she has published in the American Journal of Nursing, and it's a clinical study that she's co-authored with sociologist Linda Holmstrom based on interviews with nearly 150 survivors of rape at Boston City Hospital.
Oh, my God.
Now, this is a very, very groundbreaking paper for its time.
Well, yeah.
And Burgess and Holmstrom had concluded that sexual violence was fundamentally about power and control and not about sex.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a finding that was in the early 1970s, very much a direct challenge to how the legal system and most of society is thinking about rape.
Yeah.
So They also documented the psychological aftermath of assault in rigorous clinical detail, coining the term rape trauma syndrome. And the paper changed how hospitals treated victims, how courts considered testimony, and how the medical profession understood violence.
Awesome. Good job, ladies. Thank you.
Right. So the FBI calls because they need exactly what she does. Structured evidence-based research applied to violent crime.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been interviewing serial killers for 2 years. They've got hours and hours and hours and hours of tape.
Mm-hmm.
And they invite Ann Burgess to come take a listen to some of it. So she listens and then really just kind of hits them. You know, she kind of kicks them right in the fucking ding-dings.
Dingle dinger.
And yeah. And she tells them, she's like, this isn't research. It's just stories.
Ouch.
No, yeah. Now, she's not being dismissive of what they're doing. She's just trying to be precise.
Mm-hmm.
She listens to the recordings and identifies the problem like immediately. And it's that every interview has different questions.
Mm-hmm.
There's no structured methodology to it whatsoever. You know, no consistent data points that can be compared across subjects.
Mm-hmm.
And the killers, you know, these men who are almost without exception highly intelligent and deeply practiced at controlling conversations.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, well, they're performing for you.
Right.
So she's like, hey, you know, it's fascinating, but it's not science. So she tells them, you know, if you want to publish your work and defend it in court and teach it to other people in a way that's going to hold up to scrutiny, then they need to start over with a proper research design. You know, they need a structured review instrument with consistent questions asked of every single subject.
Mm-hmm.
So together, the three of them, Ressler, Douglas, and Burgess, they develop a 57-page interview protocol.
That's a lot of pages.
Which is color-coded by category. You know, it's got victim data, crime scene data, offender demographics, like all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So every agent who's going to conduct an interview is going to work from the same document and ask the same questions in the same order.
Oh, I like that.
So now the killers can, you know, still tell their stories, but the stories are going to yield comparable, analyzable data.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So she was often the only woman in the room. She is the only one that's not an FBI agent.
Mm-hmm.
And she, of course, has been told throughout her career that the world of violent sex crimes was no place for her. But like the strong, independent queen she is, she pushed through all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was her scientific rigor that transformed what Douglas and Ressler were doing from interesting storytelling into peer-reviewed research that would hold up under examination.
Boom, baby.
So again, without the woman, they're just a bunch of floundering dipshits fucking pissing in the wind.
Just like, all right, boys, we're reading this thing.
I'm saying.
Get some
you know what I mean?
focus.
Like,
Yeah.
People can laugh, but I'm saying, like, you fucking put a woman in charge of this country and fucking see how fucking shit improves in a fucking hot second.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon everybody's getting the mom look. And everybody's just fucking straightening up.
Right. People remember their manners. Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about these interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Now, between 1976 and 1979, Douglas, Ressler, and their colleagues conducted 36 structured interviews with incarcerated serial killers and violent sexual predators.
Mm.
Now, some of these names included Charles Manson, Ted Bundy, Gacy, Berkowitz, Richard Speck, Sirhan, and Edmund Kemper.
Wow.
The conditions were consistent across all the interviews. Always voluntary. The prisoner was able to end the interview at any time. No deals, no extra privileges. It's just the 57-page protocol, a tape recorder, the case files, and the agent and the offender.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, most of the time, Ressler said that he did not feel unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the killers were performing, certainly. Almost all of them were deeply invested in how they were perceived, trying to control the narrative of their own lives
Mm-hmm.
and the attention.
Of course.
But there's one particular incident that kind of changed everything for him.
Oh.
And he was alone in a locked room with Edmund Kemper. If you don't know, Kemper is known as the co-ed killer. Just slightly outside our jurisdiction.
Oh.
Just slightly outside the the PNW boundary in California.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But he murdered 10 people, including his own mother.
Mm.
Severed her head, had sex with her throat hole, and then buried her head in the backyard looking up at his bedroom window.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, how kind of him.
Yeah, maybe we'll do, we'll step outside the Pines in an episode and talk about some of these fuckers one day.
Right.
If we ever run out of shit to talk about. Which we won't, because
there's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I have 500 scheduled. So, I mean, that's 10 years worth of cases if you do it by week.
Oh, yeah.
52 a year.
Uh-huh.
That's a lot of years.
That is.
So anyways, he's alone with this guy. And Edmund Kemper is 6'9" tall.
Holy.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
And it's around the third time they're interviewing him. And as the interview winds down and Ressler's preparing to leave, he reaches for the buzzer to call the guard and realizes that it's not working.
Mm.
And Kemper realizes it too. And he gets up from his chair and smiles. And he says to Ressler, "If I went apeshit in here, you'd be in a lot of trouble, wouldn't you?" And he goes, "I could screw your head off and place it on the table to greet the guard." Of course, Ressler, being the cool cat he is, he keeps his composure, tells Kemper that would be, he'd get in some significant trouble.
Right.
And Kemper's response is he says, "Well, what would they do? Cut off my TV privileges?" So Ressler sits back down and keeps talking and acts as, nothing has happened. And eventually a guard arrives and Ressler leaves the room unharmed. But after that, the FBI changed its protocol for all the future interviews.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In that, a guard would remain out just outside the door. The buzzer would be tested before each interview began, and no agent would be left without some sort of immediate means of summoning help.
Good.
Yeah.
That's way too close, way too scary.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what the 36 interviews produced and analyzed through Burgess's research framework is genuinely new knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
It's the organized versus disorganized typology, the distinction between killers who planned meticulously and killers who acted impulsively,
Mm-hmm.
They get out of all this data the 4-phase model of violent fantasy, which we know to be number 1, planning.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, the crime itself.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, disposal of the body.
Mm-hmm.
And number 4, post-defense behavior.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that all makes sense. Yeah.
And none of this has been formally documented before.
Oh, wow.
So the BSU pulls all this together
Mm-hmm.
and they turn it into something that can be taught, tested, and applied.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1988, Douglas, Ressler, and Burgess published Sexual Homicide, Patterns and Motives. And this is the book that formalized everything they had learned. And it became the foundational text of modern criminal profiling. And law enforcement agencies around the world adopted its framework, and it is still it's still in use today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right?
Wow.
So let's talk about the case that did make the BSU famous. Because you remember I told you George Metesky was not the case that did that. So we're going to talk about the Atlanta child murders briefly.
Okay.
Because my God, So between 1979 and 1981, at least 29 young black males, most of them children, were murdered in Atlanta, Georgia.
29.
Yeah.
Shit.
So the city, as you can imagine, is in a fucking state of near panic.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI is called in alongside Atlanta's own investigators, and almost immediately there's a fundamental disagreement about who they're looking for. Now, the Atlanta investigators, along with like pretty much all of the city, are like, the killer's a white dude, which is fair.
Yeah. That's
Because
exactly
when
what
you
would
look
think.
at the racial dimension of the crimes, you know what I mean? Black victims in a city with a painful history of racial violence points in many people's minds toward a white perpetrator. Probably, you know, a racist.
Yeah.
Probably someone connected to a white supremacist group like the Ku Klux Klan or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So, and certainly the statistics on violent crime would support that suspicion.
Yeah.
You know, when victims are young black males, the historical patterns suggest white perpetrators. But here comes Douglas, and he's walking the abduction sites, and he and a colleague from the BSU independently analyzed the cases. Neither of them would consult with each other until they reached their own conclusion, and then they would compare notes. And they arrived at almost the exact same profile, in which that the killer was black.
Get out.
The reasoning was behavioral, not statistical, because the victims were being abducted from predominantly black communities, neighborhoods where a white adult male with a black child would be conspicuous, remembered, and certainly fucking reported.
Yeah, you'd stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, so, and the FBI even ran tests with white undercover officers in those neighborhoods, and they were noticed within minutes. So for a white killer to have operated in those areas over the course of 2 years without a single credible witness report was
went out the
essentially impossible.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, my God.
So he predicted the killer would be familiar with the investigation, possibly inserting himself into it.
Oh.
He predicted the killer owned a dog, and he predicted a fixation on police culture. So when fiber evidence from multiple victims' clothing was traced to a specific vehicle, investigators set up surveillance on the bridges over the Chattahoochee River. Now they're acting on a behavioral prediction that the killer, having learned about the fiber evidence through news coverage, would shift to dumping bodies in the water to eliminate trace evidence.
Oh.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, on May 22nd, 1981, surveillance on the South Cobb Drive Bridge over the Chattahoochee records a loud splash. Moments later, a white Chevrolet station wagon driven by a 23-year-old black man named Wayne Bertram Williams is seen slowly driving away.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Now, Williams drives a surplus police car. And he also owns a German Shepherd.
Oh, my. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm guessing he's right about being obsessed with police culture. He's driving an old squad car.
Yeah.
He's got a canine. You know, what's the typical canine? A German Shepherd.
German Shepherd.
So yeah, it doesn't take him long, and they figure out that he did it, and he's convicted of 2 murders in 1982. And then 22 additional cases after that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, the 22 were closed because of that.
Oh.
And but Douglas said that consistently and publicly that he believes Williams is responsible for at least 12 of the 29 murders. And that other killers were probably responsible for the rest.
Oh, my God.
So the case was actually reopened in 2019 under a new mayor.
Oh.
And the investigation in this is still continuing to this day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this Atlanta case is the clearest public example of what the BSU's work made possible. And you remember when I said it is something and it is not something.
Right.
Earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
This is what I mean by that. This profile did not catch this man.
No.
The fiber evidence and the surveillance is what caught him.
Mm-hmm.
But the profile redirected the investigation that was aimed in the wrong direction and helped them narrow down and predict, the body disposal, which led to a stakeout that ended up being what arrested him.
Because it was predicting the behavior.
Right. So that's what I want to explain. And that's what profiling does at its best. It's not magic.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Like you can't have an unsolved murder, use this tool and be like, aha, it's John Henry.
Yeah.
That's not what it does.
No.
All it does is narrow the field.
Yeah.
And it makes it being like, okay, it's probably a white dude. And it helps narrow it down to, okay, it's a white male in his mid-20s who probably drives this, owns this, is obsessed with this and that, and lurks around like a fucking creepy lurking weirdo.
Yeah. Because it really narrows your demographic.
Right.
Which is amazing because you go from like a huge group to something you can get more specific with.
Yes. So, they basically, all this work they do and this book and all this stuff, it gets kind of condensed, and Ressler and a retired LAPD detective named Pierce Brooks, they developed this thing called the Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, or what we know as VICAP.
Oh, okay.
Which is the national database where law enforcement agencies can submit detailed information about violent crimes and search for behavioral matches across jurisdictions. So they can search outside their own state.
Oh, I like
to
that.
see if they are finding things that match. Which would be like Israel Keys would be a good example because that motherfucker was everywhere.
Yes, he was.
And they're still digging up fucking murder kits from that dude too.
So bizarre.
Yeah, so what it did was create a central database where all law enforcement can access and share and search these things.
I like that.
Yeah.
Way to go, guys.
Right. So the behavioral science unit eventually splits and evolves into what is now called the behavioral analysis unit, or the BAU. And it has 5 subdivisions currently, which cover terrorism, cyber threats, crimes against children, crimes against adults, and then their research and training. And it is part of the National Center for the Analysis of Violent Crime, headquartered at Quantico. And it's staffed by agents who have typically spent years in the field before joining. So it's basically like people who want to teach.
Oh, wow.
So Howard Teten retired from the FBI in 1986 after 24 years. Died just a few years ago at the age of 88.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Robert Ressler retired in 1990. Died May 5th, 2013. John Douglas retired in 1995 and went on, of course, to write a series of books, beginning with Mindhunter, of course, which is the inspiration for this episode and, the reason we were talking about the Netflix show.
Right.
He's still alive and still consults on cases and still continues to speak publicly.
Wow.
Ann Burgess, she kept on teaching and has published over 150 academic articles and served as an expert witness in hundreds of criminal cases. And actually, she testified in the Menendez brothers' first trial. Yeah, remember those 2 weirdos killed their parents?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job, Ann.
Yeah. So, we kind of started this episode by saying that when we mentioned the Duncan series, kind of full of BSU language, a lot of our episodes are. You know what I mean?
Yes.
A lot of profiling, risk classification,
Mm-hmm.
all this. So none of that would be,
Possible.
possible without this, without these people who
Yeah.
brought all this together and the establishment of the VICAP program.
Mm-hmm.
So, here's an example. Well, since we're coming off Joseph Duncan and Shasta Groney,
Mm-hmm.
when those investigators connected the stolen Jeep rental and the
Mm-hmm.
Walmart receipt and the level 3 sex offender registration to a name,
Mm-hmm.
they were using tools built from those prison interviews. They were using the VICAP to cross-reference, to look at behavioral pattern matching, the organized offender framework, that told them exactly what kind of person had walked into that house at Wolf Lodge.
Right.
They didn't know who he was, but they knew
No.
what kind of person
Yes.
they were looking for.
Yeah.
And really, the science built in that basement doesn't get enough credit in the telling of these stories.
Mm-hmm.
Howard Teten, sitting in a police crime scene unit in California in 1961, asking himself what a crime scene tells you about the person who did it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Robert Ressler watching a lecture hall officer describe a series of crimes and thinking about Saturday matinee serials.
Right.
And Ann Burgess listening to hours and hours of tape recordings and then saying plainly, it's fucking not enough. And it's
Right.
not good enough. The three of these people, they built something that didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And every investigator who has ever used the words organized offender or signature behavior or victim typology is working through language that these three individuals created.
I love that.
Right? And it really is just the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So that's our story about the birth of the FBI behavioral profiling system,
I love it.
VICAP, and the individuals that were responsible for doing all this.
Yes. Thank
Pretty
you.
fucking badass, right?
Yeah. I'm glad that they were there to ask the right questions.
Yeah. It's a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed this one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Until next time.
what are we starting next?
Oh my
I think we're
goodness.
going to start Yates.
Yeah.
Oh, rowdy Robert Yates.
Mm-hmm. Local boy.
Yeah. And it's going to be a serious one. It might be more than 4 episodes, this one. It might be our first past 4. We've only gone 4 episodes on a lot. Picton,
Yeah.
Koberger got 3.
Mm-hmm.
Shasta got 4.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them just need that length.
Yeah.
And I suspect Robert Yates is going to be, and you know what? Because he's from Spokane.
Mm-hmm.
And I want our fucking show to be the goddamn authority.
Yes.
The authority. Nobody is going to provide more information on Robert motherfucking Yates
Than we
than
are.
Shadows in the Pines True Crime Podcast.
Amen, brother.
Fucking guaranteed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
So,
We're gonna dig.
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's all we have for this week.
It is.
And we'll look forward to you joining us next Tuesday.
Welcome back to Shadows in the Pines.
Oh, and then he
With your-
goes and pushes the wrong goddamn button. I'm going to leave that in. I'm not even going to edit it out. It's just going to be a juicy little
I like it.
real life moment for our listeners.
Enjoy what you just heard? Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and share. Sharing helps our podcast grow and helps us reach more listeners who enjoy true crime. As always, we appreciate your support and thank you for listening.
Hey, listeners. Need a break? If you're looking to step away from the heavier cases for a bit, be sure to check out our palate cleansing Mini Pines episodes, hosted by Becca. No murder. Just history, haunts, and strange stories from all across the Pacific Northwest. It's the same eerie atmosphere you love, just a little lighter, a little weirder, and sometimes even a little fun. New Mini Pines episodes drop every other Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're not quite ready to leave the woods, but you want something a little different, Tune in to Mini Pines, right here on Shadows in the Pines, because even without the darkness, the pines still have stories to tell.